Okay, so this is going to be a guide on how to use Deadeye optimally in the speedrun. This is something that you need to get very comfortable with as it's a major part of the speedrun. You're constantly using it almost throughout every level once you get it. Deadeye is a very important part of the game, but we don't use it as intended, so the normal way of using Deadeye is it slows down time, and you can place shots on an enemy to do a bunch of shots at once. But what you're going to notice is that no matter how many shots I seem to place on that guy, it almost took all of them to kill him. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he didn't even die. That's because using Deadeye the intended way triggers something called disruption state. And I have a video explaining what disruption state is, and you should watch it if you haven't. But the way that we do use Deadeye is that if I shoot this guy down to me having 1 bullet left in my mag, if you use Deadeye, it refills your mag immediately. I now have a full magazine. So I'm just free to shoot right down. I have no bullets. I have to reload. You can skip reloading by activating Deadeye. That is its main purpose, and we, like I said, do not use Deadeye the intended way. It's only used to skip reload animations throughout the run. And this is very important, especially when it includes the twin revolvers, because the reload animation takes so long for the twin revolvers. And also for shotguns, you can spam shotgun shots on bosses and kill them very quickly by doing this. One note is that Deadeye Reload also works for the other characters in the game. However, it's pretty much useless for Shadow Wolf and Jack, because each character has a different Deadeye on what they do. Jack's will just put a bunch of targets on an enemy at once. So when you're done using your Deadeye, essentially you're going to have a empty mag anyway. So it's not useful for reloading. But the only time you play as Jack is in his level, and his Deadeye is very useful against parry. So that's kind of irrelevant. And for Shadow Wolf, he only has 1 arrow. So there's no real way, like after every shot, Shadow Wolf doesn't really reload, it just comes back in a second. He has to draw the arrow. So yeah, but Annie, you can use Annie's gigantic explosive shot and it immediately reloads the mag. Buffalo Soldier, same thing in his level if you want to use his explosive shot. The most useful it is probably in Diego's, because you're just going to want to save time by not having to reload in his level. The only thing with Diego is you need to remember that wherever you shoot his Deadeye shot, it's going to make it so that the cannon on your side of the war is going to land wherever you shoot. So if you shoot an enemy in front of you with the Deadeye shot, his flare, you could get hit by your own cannonball. And that is a giant waste of time. So usually you just want to shoot them at an enemy that's far in the distance with Diego, or you can just straight up shoot it into the sky if you want to just be extra safe. But yeah. So when you're done emptying your mag, use Deadeye, and it will just reload your gun. Deadeye is also useful if you're using a like the Scorpion or the Widowmaker or a rifle, and you just want a quick headshot. Like if you want to headshot an enemy, it's pretty good for just doing like single headshots like that, if you want to spam it. that would be the other use of Deadeye. But yeah, that enemy's a bit close. So yeah, it is pretty good for that as well. Especially in something like Siege, where you just have a lot of Deadeye. But also note that when you use Deadeye, it slows down any in-game timer that's playing. Like you see the time is going down normally. If I activate Deadeye, it is much, much slower. So in any time-based level, the longer you have Deadeye open, essentially you're losing time, because the timer itself is going slower. And that's really Deadeye explained in full. So yeah, don't use Deadeye the intended way. Use it to reload your gun.